I wasn't meant to be there. That truth still gnaws at me. If I hadn't left work early, if I hadn't ducked into that little cafe downtown for a quick espresso, maybe I would have carried on for weeks, months even, blind to the reality unraveling behind my back. But fate, or something crueler, pushed me through those glass doors. And there she was, my wife, sitting across from a stranger, her hand resting on us like it belonged there, her head tilted in that familiar, tender way she used to lean toward me when I talked about my dreams. She was smiling, radiant, unburdened, like the weight of the world had been lifted off her. I froze. The hiss of the espresso machine filled the air. Someone laughed too loud near the window, yet all I heard was the pounding in my chest. I should have stormed over. I should have demanded answers. Instead, I stood rooted, watching the scene like a man staring at a wreck. He can't look away from, paralyzed, shattered. The note. I don't recall sitting down. I don't recall pulling out the napkin. But when my trembling stopped, the words were there, scratched in ink. Don't come home. No anger. No dramatic flourish. Just 3 words, bleeding out of me with a cold finality I didn't know I carried. I slipped the napkin onto their table, while she laughed at something he said. She didn't notice me. He looked up, confused for a heartbeat, but before he could blink, I was out the door. The bell above it chimed cheerfully, mocking me. The drive home was a haze. Red lights, blaring horns, headlights streaking across the windshield. My hands clamped the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles whitened. Her laugh echoed in my head. That laugh used to be mine. Mine to earn. Mine to protect. Questions tore at me, each sharper than the last. How long had this been happening? Were her kisses a lie? Every I love you rehearsed? Had she ever truly meant them? By the time I pulled into our driveway, the sun was sinking low. I sat there, staring at the house we built together, a place that suddenly felt like it belonged to strangers. There was no confrontation. I didn't wait for her return. I couldn't. I threw a week's worth of clothes into a bag, left my wedding ring on the nightstand, and walked out. No letter, no call, no chance for her to hear my voice crack. Instead, I checked into a cheap motel across town and collapsed on the bed, staring at the stained ceiling. Then came the text. Mia, where are you? Mia, was this note from you? Mia, please, let's talk. It's not what it looked like. I love you. I hurled my phone across the room. The screen kept lighting up with her name, each vibration another knife in my chest. Not what it looked like, but I saw it, her hand in his, her gaze, glowing the way it used to when she looked at me. There was no mistaking it. The nights that followed were sleepless. The motel walls were thin. I could hear the couple next door argue, then reconcile. It was almost ironic. I just lay awake, replaying everything. Vacations, anniversaries, those late-night porch talks where she swore we'd grow old together. Had it all been a performance? I thought about the little signs I'd ignored. Her growing distance, the late nights at work, the sudden obsession with the gym. I chalked it up to stress. But no, the puzzle pieces locked together too neatly now. I'd been the fool who refused to see. On the 3rd day, she called instead of texting. Against my better judgment, I answered. Daniel, she whispered, her voice cracking. Please, just talk to me. I said nothing. It wasn't what you think, she rushed. That man at the cafe, he's just a friend. I've been going through things, and I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to burden you. A friend. My own voice sounded foreign. You don't hold a friend's hand like that, Mia. You don't look at a friend like he hung the moon. You don't understand, she said softly. You've been so absent, always tired, always distracted. I needed someone to talk to. There it was, the shift, the blame sliding my way. So this is my fault? I asked, the bitterness thick. No, she cried. I made a mistake. But I love you, Daniel. Please come home. We can fix this. But the truth was already carved deep. If she could betray me once, she could do it again. That night, I sat on the edge of the motel bed with a bottle of cheap whiskey, staring at my phone. Her apologies and pleas kept flooding in. I thought about that man. Was she with him now? Was she whispering to him the same words she once saved for me? Something inside me snapped. I typed one last message. You made your choice. I'm making mine. Goodbye, Mia. Then I blocked her. The aftermath blurred. Paperwork, silence, moving into a small apartment closer to work. Friends asked questions. Family wanted explanations. But how do you tell them the person you trusted most carved a hole in your chest and left you bleeding? I gave them only what they needed to hear. The rest I carried alone. Mia tried to reach me through friends, even slipped letters under my door. I never answered. Couldn't. Every glimpse of her handwriting was a weight pressing down, threatening to pull me under again. I knew if I let her back in, I wouldn't survive. Months later, I saw her again, this time at the grocery store. She looked smaller somehow, as if life had drained the light from her. Our eyes met across the aisle. For a fleeting moment, I saw the woman I had fallen in love with. She opened her mouth, but I turned and walked away. Some things don't deserve closure. It's been a year now. The pain hasn't disappeared, but it's dulled into something I can live with, like an old scar that only aches when the weather changes. I've learned to move forward. But some nights, I still hear her laugh echoing in my head, the laugh that once belonged to me. And I wonder, was the napkin note meant for her or for me? Because in those 3 words, don't come home, I didn't just end a marriage. I freed myself from the illusion of a love that no longer existed. And maybe that was the only way I could survive.